So, Nick, I have been, well, I don't know if you saw, but Unsolved Mysteries is back.
Yeah, I did notice actually. The moment we spoke about it, there it
It
is.
appeared on Netflix. It's obviously not a remake, it's a reboot.
Yeah, a revival.
Revival, yeah, that's the word. It's very different. So I've only watched one episode of the new one, and it's good. It is good.
But
But there is a but. There's still a but. So the new one is just one mystery per episode, and there is, I think, there's 6 episodes or maybe 8. And the mysteries in there, or at least the one we watched, was really interesting, and it was very, it was an unsolved mystery, and it was very fascinating. They just lay the facts out for you. They've got interviews with all of the people, involved. It's just like talking heads, and then they put in like recreations. They do this thing, like, so in the first episode, this guy goes missing, and then, like, a week later or a few weeks later, they find his body, and it appears as if he's jumped from a hotel into, like, this other building, and there's, like, this tiny hole in the roof.
right,
And they've put these fucking graphics in, where it shows you, like, this wide shot, obviously, like, taken from a helicopter of the hotel, and then it's, like, circled the hole, and then has a little bit coming off saying hole. It's like, thanks Netflix, I didn't realise that gaping hole was a hole.
for the slower members of the audience.
Yeah. But so I've realised, like, the inherent problem with Unsolved Mysteries is that they are unsolved and thus very, very unsatisfying.
Yeah, there's no conclusion presumably. It's sort of just like,
Yeah, well, because it's like, how the fuck did this guy die? Who killed him? Why did he have to die? Because he was, like, perfectly happy. He was very, he was financially stable. He loved his wife, and then just one day he was missing, and then 6 days later he showed up dead, and no one knows why or how he died, basically. And it's like, it just sort of ends, and it's, the wife is like, oh, I'm really sad. I really miss him. His brother's like, yeah. Things will never be the same. I'm still looking for answers. And it just sort of ends. It's like, oh, if you have any information, go to unsolvedmysteries.com or whatever. And it's like, well, shit, I really wanted to know how he died.
well, then surely wasn't the original show like that as well?
Well, yeah, it was. But in the original show, I don't know, but they also had a lot of the... We only tended to watch the revisited ones. So you do have the satisfying conclusion on the end.
Right.
And I'm hoping that in a few years' time, if any of these do get solved, which is obviously the massive positive of Unsolved Mysteries,
Yeah.
that they'll do a revisited, and we can then go and see that these things have been solved. And also, well, as far as I can tell, there's only one fucking bullshit UFO episode, and I'm really hoping that is the only bullshit episode, because...
For old time's sake.
Yeah, because it's just fucking... dog shit, because I just, why give them the time of day? It's like, oh, there's a spooky UFO that comes to me every night. Okay, that will set up some cameras. It's, oh, the UFO hasn't showed up tonight. It must be the weather. Okay, we'll come back tomorrow. Yeah, okay, cool.
Even the most advanced civilizations, when they build UFOs, like, what's that cloudy weather? Nah, I can't do it.
can't show up.
Turbulence.
Sorry.
So, from what I remember of you telling me about the old series, is they'd have the mystery and they'd go and investigate it sort of themselves, the presenters. Is that...
Well, so it's not really them investigating it. It's more of them, like, collating all of the evidence, and...
Oh, okay.
They didn't then go and look into it themselves. But, they pulled together all of the strings to make it one cohesive sort of case,
Because I was going to say, if the whole point of it was about investigation, wouldn't not having that be a key problem with the new one? But I suppose that could be a way to improve it, to have, like... Because that's what I thought it would be, like, a presenter's like, well, this is a mystery, and this is what we know so far. I'm going to go and investigate and see what I can find.
Yeah.
Because that's more of a show. That's more of a content than just, like, basically a dramatized Wikipedia read, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. It does sort of feel like that. But, like, I mean, they do present it in an interesting way. And they, like, present to you the multiple theories of what they think could have happened. And then they've got, an interview with because the case we watched was so completely baffling, and there was like no evidence at all. Like that, I think it was two different detectives and then two different investigative journalists all had a look at it and all like interviewed loads of different people. And it's but also they never got in contact with each other. And this show sort of brought all those different investigations together and represented it, as a complete sort of case, which is quite cool. But I feel like that case is just never going to be solved because, so the police, the lead detective who was in charge of the case officially said that he tried to contact this company who the bloke who died had been working for, and that company did a cease and desist on all of their employees and lawyered up and refused to speak to them.
That's not suspicious at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, could you make yourself look any more guilty? You may just fucking stamp "we did it" on our forehead and move on.
I mean, that's all the evidence you need, really.
Yeah, it's like, why would you not talk to... But also, the entire company was like, not a single employee was allowed to talk to the police about it. You'd think maybe like the top dogs weren't allowed to talk about it, but these random chumps that probably know nothing about it could talk about it.
Couldn't they like specifically be like, okay, you can talk to this one guy who's relatively high up, then brief and be like, right, you only tell them this, this, and this. Leave out the crime bit.
Yeah, like they didn't even release a statement. Yeah, they just...
That would be less suspicious. At least try and be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing here. Yeah. Nothing but good old family fun behind these doors.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and I think it's worth... It's very, very Netflix documentary now. Because if you watch any Netflix documentaries, there's always the same sort of, style. Yeah, it's very stylized, and they're always the same. Like, have you watched any other like crime documentaries made by Netflix?
So I watched Amanda Knox over the weekend, which I'm pretty sure is a Netflix original. But you haven't seen that, have you?
I have not. No.
No. But I mean, that's probably like the main other one I've seen at the moment.
Okay, I recommend the Ted Bundy tapes.
Yeah, that is on my list.
That's really, really good, and that's very interesting. There's also the Confession Killer. Again, it's exactly, not exactly this, because obviously it's a different case, but it's the same style, like just through and through.
Yeah.
But all of those types of... I haven't seen Making a Murderer. Well, I've seen a bit of Making a Murderer, but the bit of Making a Murderer I've seen was that exact same style,
Yeah. I think I saw the first 2 episodes at uni and never got around to watching the rest.
It does make me think, like, is it the same person making all of these documentaries, or is it just Netflix being like, you have to cut it and make it to this exact brief, Well,
it's possible since... These are all like Netflix original product, like made in house. They might have the same editor, for example, the same producers being like, we want it like that, rather than like a specific guideline.
I mean, Tiger King was sort of similar, but then it's a lot. It's still definitely different.
Was Tiger King? I know it was the original, of course. Was it made in house by Netflix, or was it made by independents and then bought for distribution by Netflix?
I am not sure, because I know that Tiger King's definitely got a specific documentarian attached to it.
Well, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
All of these other ones, his name's attached to it, whereas all of these other ones are just Netflix made. They're not a documentary by, Bob and Tim. They are
by Netflix.
By Netflix, yeah. But yeah, it's you should give Unsolved Mysteries a watch. It might be worth watching a new one and then going back and watching an old one and seeing how different they are. Because I reckon the old ones are just cringe city.
Is there any way you can watch the old ones about just buying a flat in Portsmouth?
Apparently they are aired on CBS every single night. So
I might actually have CBS on my TV.
CBS reality every night. Jesus Christ, like literally every single night.
I didn't realise, so until recently I was going through my TV channels trying to work out, I think I was trying to find one of the film channels to record something, and there's I get PBS and NBC and stuff. I'm like, since when did I get vote? What? Why have we got them in England? They're on like
weird.
Channel 300 or something. We seem to have them. I was blown away by that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's. I would be interested to compare the two to see how well, because they're so dated, the old one, and the new one is very modern in the way it's told. You know.
It'd be cool if there was a mystery they covered on the old series and that's still an unsolved mystery in the new one.
What they come back to, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be like, well, we looked at this in the 80s and we're still back, and this is what we've made since, but it's still unsolved.
But
So you could do a direct
the
comparison.
problem with that is there's like, what's the point of them retreading that when there's because when did it stop being made, in like the mid-90s?
I think it went on till 2010, didn't it? I think that's the date.
Oh yes, but it didn't have Robert Stack.
No, I think it went on. Yeah, it went on for a little bit.
Whereas this with as far as I can tell, like all of these are made. Yeah, 2010. You're right. Yeah. Okay, maybe not then. Because what I was going to say was like, them. I was going to say there must be like 20 years of new unsolved mysteries for them to unsolve.
Only 10 years.
It's only 10 years. Well, this one, from the first episode, was in 2006. And it's so weird, like, she's like, oh yeah, this is his cell phone, and it's like a fucking Nokia brick,
Wow, that is dated.
And it's like, I haven't seen a phone like that for so long. It's like, it's weird that phones used to look like that.
Yeah.
And how quickly they became these massive touchscreen pads,
I remember having my mum's old, like, little Nokia thing when I was 10, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, so long ago.
So long.